next time you talk about us, speak well of us. Okay, we do not need a meeting extension, which means that we go on to probably board reports, would be my guess. And so I would ask if Mr. Lawrence has anything he'd like to speak to.
I had the opportunity to visit Mount Diablo High School last week and get a chance to look at several of the academies and have a wonderful lunch provided by Cindy Gershon, who I think is one of the true gems of our school district and doing some fantastic work. And so I had the chance to see Acme and the Digital Safari Academy. I did not get to the other two academies, but I will plan on going back. And I think, to Mr. Langley's point, I think we do need to figure out what the academy model looks like and provide some direction there and how that is best suited. I was a little disappointed. I thought he was going to blend in when we started talking the price of wheat. I thought we were going to get to Tragedy of the Commons, but we didn't quite get there. So enjoyed the visit to Mount Diablo High School. And then at a future board meeting, one of the things I'll be bringing up, which staff was kind enough to provide this binder, which Ms. Cooksey made me lug down to boardroom 5 or 6 of these. I would like to see this board start to have an initiative around electronic being the preferred means, and I think this board setting the tone for that throughout the district. When I see this, I just think that the amount of the time and effort that went into it, the amount of printing, the cost of it, the environmental impact, and so I would really like to see us start to take a look at an electronic first methodology while being cognizant of providing when necessary backup in a paper means, but to start to not even be, I think that's really us playing catch up to a lot of the world in terms of how we disperse information.
Thank you, Mr. Lawrence. Mrs. Dendler, do you have anything you'd like to report?
No report time.
Thank you. Mrs. Mayo?
First, Wednesday is Day of the Teacher, as well as the classified credentialed school nurse. And so I wish everyone a joyous celebration at the school sites. We approved the resolution for Classified Employee Week, May 19th through 25th on our agenda tonight, so I wanted to acknowledge that. Medea Academy Awards is May 18th, and I'm presuming tickets... May 17th, I apologize. And I'm presuming tickets are still available and you can contact the Medea office regarding those tickets. It should be a grand celebration. And the retirement celebration for Mount Diablo School District employees is May 14th. I had the opportunity to visit the Foothill, our new distinguished middle school, and Gregory Gardens and Robert Shearer Preschool, and those visits are always a joy. On a different note, I participated in the Team California for Healthy Kids partnering meeting, which is promoted by Superintendent Tom Torlakson a couple of weeks ago in Sacramento. And the meeting was to explore future partnerships to improve the health and wellness of students throughout California. So there's some very big named foundations and businesses involved in this, as well as many nonprofits that provide services to students around the area of wellness. And we know that student wellness is essential to increased academic performance. The California State PTA Convention this last week was very successful, and the handouts from 52 conferences are posted online currently on the convention webpage of the California State PTA website. And EdSource was also held, their annual conference was held at the PTA convention this year, and those resources should be posted online this coming week. So if you're interested in seeing the reports that were presented at EdSource, they should be online. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Mayo. Mrs. Oakes?
Last week I had the opportunity to go to Legislative Day with members, parent members of the CAC. It was a very informative meeting up in Sacramento. We met, well, I only was able to stay and met with a couple of legislators that they spoke with regarding their concerns about special education services for students across the state. And I was very impressed with all of the work that they put in. And then the next day I had an opportunity to go on a field trip with one of our elementary schools, and I just want to say that riding the school bus was an adventure for me. But I was very impressed with not only the quality of the school bus, but also the driver. She was very concerned about the safety of the children and spoke with them kindly, and I just thought that the transportation did a really good job.
Thank you, Mrs. Oaks. I just wanted to go back a little bit on, because I skipped over the future agenda items, and just highlight a couple. Is one, Mrs. Locke has taken on the graduation requirements. This has been an issue before the board, and this has been this board's interest now to review those graduation credits, because Mount Diablo only requires 200 credits, and it was lowered several years ago. So that will be continuing forward. And then the other one that I know has appeared 2 other times on the agenda, and I just wanted to highlight that Mr. Lawrence mentioned going out to the academies, is we will be trying to have a district conversation around that, the academy model and linked learning. And Mrs. Oaks and I happen to have done some visitation out to Mount Diablo and spoken with a number of folks. And what we thought would be a great thing is, originally when I had this on the agenda, it was around the vision of the district, because when you move forward with this kind of collaboration, which has been going on for some years, and Mrs. Durkee's been doing this for years, as linked learning and the career technical education programs. It's not a new model, but it's one that we need to get behind as a board and as a district and make some decisions and determinations. So Mrs. Oaks and I had a number of conversations and talked the other night at the Career Integrated Academics meeting, which Mrs. Durkee runs, just to get together and talk about the district's vision for linked learning and academies, and to talk about the support that the district has for this. Because the idea of doing something and making this sort of change is really to make it a commitment by the district and to make it effective and ensure that we provide the support. So we need as a district to determine what direction we're going into and how much support we can provide for that. So that's why I postponed it on the agenda again, and we will be meeting with a small group of us. I think Mr. Moronis, Mrs. Durkee, Ms. McClatchy, and Mrs. Oaks and I will be meeting on Monday, May 13th, to try to get behind the district's vision and the board's ability to support this kind of linked learning, which has been going on for some years. Other than that, we will be meeting again. The board will be meeting again Wednesday, May 8th at 3 p.m. I want Mr. Mims to know that. This is just, well, we have a 24-hour posting requirement, so it'll be posted tomorrow morning. But there are a number of special meetings that are occurring during this time frame so that we can continue moving along as a district. And so there will be another meeting posted for Wednesday, May 8th, beginning at 3 p.m. And given that, no other business, then this meeting is adjourned at 9:58 p.m.